Hello again, Andy with Handy Andy Handyman, Handy Andy on Demand, and welcome back to a project run through that we're looking at over in the Woodstock area, Cherokee County. And you'll hear the thunder rumbling, and we've had a few days in a row where every time I get out here to do bids, I get lightning coming at me. So I guess I need to behave myself. But this house is typical of the projects we look at. This one, the owners try to keep up on it. She has LP grain siding, which is basically wood chips and glue. And she just, most of it's in decent enough shape. If she can see her way to hand paint it sometime this year, we can save most of it. She's got a little bit of rot here, these bottom three boards right here on the right side in this area. Over here in this right corner of the main house, you can see how much water she's been getting in these corners. So you can actually put your fingers down in here and you can put your finger right, see, look, there's nothing left. It's just dirt at this point. So this is 5/4 trim, so we'll repair this area here. From this area on the right side of the main house going up over the roof line, you can see where they set the siding down, and it's just crumbled all the way up to that ridge, and it will continue from the ridge of the garage to the back side of the house. All that needs to be replaced with grain hardy plank. Be careful when you're getting bids from contractors, because most of us are not using James hardy plank siding. They're using a product called Nichihana, and you just don't want it for a variety of reasons. You can use it on the main part of your house. You want to save some money, but if you get in areas like here or on a chimney where the siding is exposed to a lot of water and water running at the edges, we've seen that siding crumble in less than 18 months. We believe in James hardy plank so strongly, we offer a lifetime fully transferable warranty on any repairs or replacements that we do. We do tons of replacements. Our crews are probably doing 3 to 5 of these repair projects a week with James Hardy. And we've never had an issue with the siding in all the years. 27 years of doing this, about 20 years of installing James hardy plank. She put a new roof on not too terribly long ago. They did a nice job with it. The gutters have remained clogged because she's not calling someone to clean them. And so you can see a lot of the debris here in this gutter. And what it ends up doing is it rots out the fascia and the soffit in this area, like up here in this upper corner. We can repair all these things. The water's been splashing down here on this pediment for a long time, which is this trim piece above the front entry. We can repair all that. She's got some repairs that were made previously, and you don't want repairs like this. See where they made horizontal cuts in the trim right here? This is brick mold, and this is outside frame, and so it's trapping the water. So this is re-rotted already. We need to replace the base trim out here on each of the side lights. And one of these, again, you got a horizontal cut here, and this frame is now rotted here on the inside. Those are all standard repairs. You can see where the caulk failed and it rotted over here on the 5/4 board behind this downspout. The trick with trim is that it's never painted, so when you look at a piece of trim like this, you see 1 or 2 sides, but there's really 6 sides to it. So if they only paint 2, the other 4 are dry, especially the bottom edge. So any water that splashes here from this clogged gutter up here, you can see where it got hit by a tree limb, and the guys can fix that for her. It just causes all that rot. Again, most of her siding is good shape when you look at it. But you're looking at the bottom edges of the siding, and when you see 6 or 7 distinct lines in the bottom, like see that shading in here, it's just starting to separate. So if she hand paints it and hand caulks it this year, she'll save a lot of this, but she'll then have to come back in the years to come and just spot replace, as opposed to changing it all out for hardy plank. No one's going to pay any more money for your house because it's hardy plank sided. They just won't. But if you can caulk all this up, the left side is a little more pronounced in its damage, and if we can get to it and caulk it up and seal it and paint it this year, see where my finger starts to give? You can still salvage it. And that's the problem with the siding, is it's been spray painted. If someone had actually caulked every one of these nail heads, these little circles are nail heads. The nails didn't move, the siding is expanding, and you can see that when you get under the bottom edges, and you'll see the lines in the siding. My camera won't pick it up that well, but see how the thickness changes as you move up? So she's kind of at the crossroads of, do I paint it and try and fix it, or do I replace it all? And at this point, if she catches it now, we could save most of this siding just by caulking and hand painting. It's a little rougher as you get up by that dryer vent, and my camera's not going to pick it as well. This area stays shaded. You can see what happens to trim. So she's had somebody here, they replaced this trim around this window at the left side, but when they got down into this nose area, they left it, and this thing's been rotted for years. This is rotted when they did this work. I'm not sure when, but it looks like the last couple of years. And then it kills me because they come in, see that trim piece up there? See that black line? It never got caulked, so the water's getting behind that trim piece and just coming down and starting to rot out your siding. The rest back here is in pretty good shape, just needs paint, prime and paint. These windows are good. Whoever did this replacement back here, they just cut it short. And you can see the gap. My guys will fix that. A lot of times when we're coming out to projects like this, we'll go ahead and rework someone else's bad repair and not charge the customer. You can see why they called us out. The woodpeckers are in this chimney. All the siding on her trim is rotted, and part of it is that gutter never had kick-out flashing that bridges the gap between the gutter and the chimney. So every time it's rained, the water's just gotten in there. And we'll show you that from the other side. When it comes to painting, you can get cheaper. We really don't price what we do to where we need to do it because we hand paint. The only way we'll spray paint your house is if you're selling it, and then we'll spray paint it. If you've got masonite or LP siding, we'll hand paint the bottom edges to seal it for the inspectors and spray out the rest. It'll last for a few years, but it's not the best way to paint your house. But we'll only do that if you're selling the house. Otherwise, we hand wash, light pressure rinse with very low pressure. Because what happens a lot of times, you get painters out here, they'll hit this LP siding with a 3600 PSI pressure washer and they just rip up the siding, caulk it, paint it. Next year, you wonder why all your siding's falling apart. Right side of the house, again, she can salvage all this siding by hand painting it, but she needs to do it in the next year or so, or she's looking at total replacement. This is pretty protected here. When you get up over this roof line again, through the deck here, you can see there's no kick out flashing where that gutter hits right there. And then if you go up this roof line, see, it's just destroyed, it's gone. Most of the back siding, great shape. It's pretty protected back here, and it looks like it actually got a better paint job back here. And I think she had somebody rework the trim around this little bump out window. All this stuff is here pretty good from what we can see. When you get to this chimney, it's just kaputted. And again, please, when you have people doing repair work, do not let them do these horizontal cuts, because yeah, it'll repair it for a second, but now the repair wood is rotted, the upper piece is rotted, and the truth on this chimney is we're just gonna replace it all. Every trim piece that we replace on a house, we back prime and seal every edge of the wood. There's no raw wood. And even on chimneys, like that bottom piece of siding right there above that roof line and that bottom piece of trim, we feather seal that stuff with a clear elastomeric at the bottom so it'll never rot out. But you can see the condition of her siding. You can put your hand right through it. When you see wrinkles like that in the siding, it's just gone. It's all gone. But an easy fix. And then part of her problem here is you can see the gap between the gutter and the chimney. They never had kick out flashing there, so the water's just been running between it all this time. She's got a great deck with old growth wood. If we could just clean it up and stain it for her, she'd have this thing for years to come. One of the things we like to add to decks is just to keep the water away from the house right here. We add a custom sill plate that goes all the way around the deck area and will prevent that water from getting in at the sill plate. She's got a great house. It just needs a little handy Andy love. You know, people see all these carpentry repair videos that we do, but we do so much more. My brother and myself, we run a crew of 30, and now we've got the Handy Andy on demand crew where you can actually book some handyman time, 2 hours at a time, prepay for 2 hours, and the guys will come out prepared to do the little stuff that I just don't get a chance to come look at. So we've got an office in Gwinnett County. We've got an office in East Cobb and Marietta. You can reach us in the office at 770-912-2829. Sometimes you can get to me personally at 770-265-9017. But you'll find on painting of houses, one coating this house, we're charging about the same price that the guys are gonna come out here and spray paint it. 2 coats to change colors is a little bit more expensive, but it's well worth it. We've had houses that we've painted that still look good 15 years after we're done. I'm Andy with Handy Andy. See you at the next house. Bye for now.